Today, we're diving beyond the AI hype with Nate Baer, professional trader and lead technical tactician. We're exploring the untapped opportunities in AI stocks beyond Nvidia and uncovering the real value in this buzzing sector. Let's get started. I have professional trader and lead technical tactician at Monument Traders Alliance, Nate Baer, with me today. Nate, thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to it.
Yes. Now, Nate, I do want to talk about some AI stocks with you today, but before
Yes.
our viewers shut us out, I promise this is not going to be the same old AI talk that everyone is hearing these days. I know we can kind of become a little bit numb to that, but we
Yeah.
aren't talking Nvidia today. Instead, we're talking about other ways that investors and traders can cash in on AI. I know you have some great insights on this.
Mhm.
But Nate, you know this, I know this, as I kind of just mentioned, AI has become something of a buzzword lately. So
Yes.
aside from all the buzz here, how do you approach trading AI stocks? And
Mhm.
how do you maybe go about finding other fast moving AI stocks outside of NVIDIA?
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's a great question. And it reminds me of some of the other periods in time, similar to when we had do you remember the stock pot, the not the stock pot, the pot stock craze that we had when all these crappy little companies were going up and going berserk. And it lasted a while. And now if you look at those companies, they're all kind of worthless. This is totally different in that these this is pot isn't going to change the world economy. AI will. So
Mhm.
these names that keep coming in and keep coming up, they are potentially going to be names that we're going to be trading for years and years and years to come. And it's fascinating that it's like you said, it's not just Nvidia. There are so many names that are getting boosts just from the potential that AI brings. Drug companies, industrial companies, little known names like there's a company called VRT out there that does cooling systems for AI components and AI systems. And these sort of all of these other industries are all coming up. It's like the tide is sort of rising and so many boats are all coming up at the same time. It's a fascinating time to be involved in the markets.
So kind of going along with that, I do want to bring up something here that it's come up in some of my past conversations, but that idea around companies just kind of throwing around the whole AI factor. I mean, it's kind of easy to say that they're integrating it into their strategies when they really aren't. Again,
Mhm.
that kind of buzzword. For those that actually are, though, I do want to talk about the integration in traditional industries. I'm talking maybe healthcare, finance, agriculture, maybe, for example.
Sure.
Can you share some insights with us, Nate? How do you think this is creating unique opportunities for traders, investors? I
Yeah, I
mean,
mean
the artificial intelligence industry, sorry,
no, yeah.
it's exploding, like we know. So I'd
Yeah.
love to hear more about what you think. Looking for the golden ticket in 2024's unpredictable market? Thomas Hughes brings you the 10 best stocks to own in 2024. In a year where market corrections loom and sideways movement is expected, smart investments are key. Are you ready to outperform the market? Dive into the sectors and stocks primed for success. Don't wait, start making informed decisions today, and your portfolio will thank you. Download the free report now.
AI is it's being integrated into every single industry. It's not just Nvidia. It's not just chip makers. It's not just Microsoft. It's not just Google. It's companies like LLY, the big drug companies, like you mentioned, that are going to be bringing this information, these incredible AI systems, and they're going to be helping along every single path, every single point in developing drugs, and it's going to decrease the amount of time from beginning to end exponentially. The research that is going to be able to be done now, thanks to the help of AI, that might take a decade, maybe that could be reduced to just a year. So it's not just let's make money with AI, but the actual benefit to people all around the world in so many different industries is going to be just absolutely incredible.
Now, Nate, I want to put you on the spot a little bit here. So, in our little pre show chat, you had mentioned you're not really a fundamental investor trader. Tell us
Right.
more about your strategy then.
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. So I am a technical analyst. I look at charts, I find patterns, I find my edge, and I take trades based on what I'm seeing in the charts. So what I joke about all the time is, hey, you know what? If you gave me, Nvidia's earnings for a quarter down the road. And it wasn't like anything amazing, just getting into the numbers. I wouldn't really be able to turn that into a trade, but if you show me a chart, I can instantly tell you, hey, that's something that I like or that's something that I don't like. So what's really cool with all these AI names now becoming really popular to trade is that we'll just go and create a list of these names. And then we'll go through these names on a day-to-day basis and say, hey, you know what looks good? What's setting up right now? For example, Nvidia right this very minute isn't really, doing much. It's just sort of hanging out. It's had this huge run this year. It's up almost 100% in 2024, but right now it's just sort of in a consolidation phase. So we don't really have a lot of trades in Nvidia. But one of these other names that I just mentioned, this VRT, which is sort of like a brick and mortar AI play, um, they provide the cooling systems that cool these massive AI systems. Um, they're having a great run right now as people start to realize, hey, you know what? There's more to just NVIDIA in this AI craze. So what we'll do is we'll create that list and we'll go through all the names each day and say, hey, what's setting up today? What's setting up today? What's setting up today? And
Mhm.
that's sort of how I play this AI craze right now.
Awesome. Well, you had just mentioned VRT. Are there any under the radar companies in addition to that that you think that we should be paying attention to? I mean, are there any that maybe have recently outperformed your expectations, Nate?
Outside of like the big names, I'm right now. It's interesting that you ask that because a lot of the just pure AI plays are actually still privately funded. Like
Mhm.
you've I'm sure heard of Chat GPT, right? Like this isn't a name that we can go buy options on. We can't buy stock in this. It hasn't IPO'd yet. And Wall Street right now is actually trying to push these companies along, these just pure AI plays, and trying to push them along to get them to the point where they're ready to actually IPO. And it's going to be fascinating when they do. But right now, I'm sticking to the big guns. I'm staying where the money is safe. I'm not a big fan of like penny stocks, but
Mhm.
trading Google and Microsoft, Nvidia, AMD, SMCI is one that we've traded a lot, which I'm sure you've heard of. It's been incredible this year. It's up what 300% perhaps. Um, but I'm kind of sticking to the big names for now. But once some of these just pure AI plays do start to IPO, which hopefully will happen later this year, it's going to be fascinating to
Mhm.
trade those as well.
Okay, so Nate, for those that are still maybe a little bit skeptical about AI stocks due to, we see market saturation or maybe even burnout, what advice or tips do you offer to maybe reignite some interest in these stocks?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing here is realizing that this is not a fad. This
Mhm.
isn't pot stocks. This isn't even Bitcoin to a certain extent, right? You when
Right.
Bitcoin starts going higher, you have all these little names, all these little companies that say, hey, you know what? We were a video company, and now we're going to change to Bitcoin, and they have no just that one little PR, and the stock goes up 100%. These AI names are not this isn't going to be something that, in my opinion, is going to be temporary. So
Mhm.
you need to sort of get behind this idea. This is going to transform the way the world does business, period. It's not going to be just NVIDIA. It's going to be every sector, every industry. Everyone is going to be including AI. And from a business perspective, you really have two choices. You either are going to be working with AI in
Mhm.
your business, in your company, or you're going to be working against it. And that's the reality. It's not an exaggeration to say you're either working with or it's working
Right.
against you. And which side do you want to be on, right? So if you're sort of like, this AI stuff, this is all going away. It's not. This isn't a
Mhm.
craze. This isn't something. This is transformative. This is as big as the internet. This is
Mhm.
going to be huge over the coming decades. It's not just something that's going to be, by the end of 2024, people won't even be talking about AI. I don't think that's the case at all.
Right. Yeah, so we are going to be looking at that into the future. So with that, let's look forward a little bit more here. I'm curious to know what excites you the most, Nate, about the potential of AI in the market?
Well, one of the things that we've done is just going back to what I just said, we're either working against it or it's on your side, right? And
Mhm.
so one of the things that we've done recently at Monument Traders Alliance is we've actually built our own AI tool because we want to be on the side that AI is working for
Right.
us. So we've spent a long time developing this tool, and now we have an AI tool that we call SAM that scans the market for us, and it looks at over 5 million updates every single second. Can you imagine that? That's the power of AI. It's
Right.
scanning the whole market in real time, and it's telling us based on the criteria that we've assigned or we've sort of addressed, where the best setups are happening. So I have a very specific edge. I mentioned that I was a technical trader. I have a very specific pattern, a very specific setup that I use. And it used to be a situation where I'd have to pull up a chart. I have to go through manually. Amazon, let's look at all these different time frames. Let's look at Google. Let's look at Microsoft. Now using AI, Sam does that for me in real time across more stocks than I can look at in a day, and it does it every second. So the opportunities out there right now are huge, and we're certainly trying to get on the right side of that.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today to share your insights on this topic, Nate. For those that are wanting to learn more from you, where can our viewers find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got basically two main services. My main flagship service is called dailyprofitslive.com, Daily Profits Live, and that's the full service. And then I've got another service called Profit Surge Trader, where I'm looking for a very sort of specific thing to happen with companies around earnings, and then using that specific event to trade the same names over and over and over. We've had fantastic success this year so far.
Awesome. Well, I will go ahead and get Nate's information linked down below, so be sure to connect with him. Otherwise, we'll be right back here at Market Beat with more very soon. Thanks so much, Nate.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it was a pleasure. Thank you very much.